This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. The Rolex market differs from conventional markets since many Rolex versions sell for greater than the suggested retail price in the second-hand industry due to the high demand of Rolex watches. It also has resulted in long waiting lists for several models. Unlike most markets, the Rolex market is unique. The clearest point we are pointing out here is that there is a far bigger demand than there is a supply of Rolex watches in the market. Therefore, according to fundamental economic theory, prices will inevitably rise until there is a balance between supply and demand. However, issues can occur when one important key player, Rolex itself, sets the prices for the goods without significantly raising the retail prices to a level that would promote greater balance. A consumer might purchase a certain Rolex watch from an authorized merchant and then sell it on the secondary market for a profit. These unequal forces can cause imbalances not just on the part of the Rolex, but it's more likely to happen in other watch brands in the market that will have the same experience. In today's video brought to you by The Luxury World, we will be going to talk about the Rolex and the reasons why we cannot get it at the retail price from the manufacturer. If you still have not subscribed to our channel, make sure to do it now so you can stay updated on our future videos. You are possibly aware of the watch market's current situation and that it seems to slow down. And if you have been keeping up with the news, you are probably happy because of the thought that you can probably walk into a Rolex store and almost manage to go buy at the manufacturer's retail price or MSRP for every model. Isn't it a good deal, right? Why not pay a higher price when you can get Rolex watches at a much lower price? Unfortunately, it's not how it works as we can see in the current situation. Among the large occurrences in Rolex in the past 3 years, the inventory has revealed it to be quite lucrative to discourage average folks from just entering and purchasing a Rolex even if it's just simply seated in the window and the display. They had great success with it because they always promise to sell every watch that enters the store practically and instantly. The legitimate questions that we must emphasize here is why we can't still qualify for buying a Rolex at its MSRP even when the watch market has decreased, and if it's possible to accomplish that very soon, particularly with discussions of the upcoming recession. It's a nice thing to set away some money and purchase a watch without any additional fees. Let us take a different point to talk about first. As we discussed in the first part of the video, we are currently experiencing a long waiting list for Rolex. This was always happening with the Rolex market, and another factor it happened because watches became more popular during the pandemic. Many people who did not know the watch history have now become skilled at this new method of entering and joining the list, and they learned how to become effective for all listings instead of only a few items. Before the pandemic happened, many watch enthusiasts who have been dealing with the market for a long time already would tell you that they were always on the waiting lists for Rolex, but not all watches. It was a common thing that you could walk into a Rolex boutique and you can even get a discount. For example, a Rolex day date that is just the normal color like gold or rose gold with the normal dial. Perhaps you can get it for a 20% off and you will be able to happily walk out the door with a new Rolex watch. Imagine that you were able to buy that day date at a good price. It was pretty exciting, but things have changed since 2020. People became aware of the fact that wristwatches are a safe method of investing or sorting their money, so people rush into different watch stores like Rolex and essentially purchase everything and leave the shops largely empty. This stole the opportunity of the dealers of getting additional discounts, not even the cheap watches that weren't successful since those were also selling. This is one of the issues that continue to happen during the 6 to 7 months that have passed since the market boomed. A lot of people have begun to grasp the knowledge that some of these timepieces are simply not going to bring the premiums they used to have. Even though there is undoubtedly merit in it, obtaining the appropriate Rolex for its MSRP doesn't necessarily hold the same value for everyone anymore. On the other hand, there are some watches where values have continued to rise despite the changes. An example of this is the Rolex Platinum Daytonas that currently sold in a range of $80,000. But when you check it on the trading, you can get it for the $100,000 range, and this is clear that people can still have a healthy profit of $20,000, which is still within the profit margin. It's worth a little bit more than just a few $1,000s that are in their MSRP in addition to the tax. Another example is the stainless steel Daytonas and Pandas that remain to bring a healthy profit. Particular timepieces remain incredibly popular while some timepieces are not as common, where purchasing and filing taxes will likely get you in a position with negative equity immediately. Some of this can make you money, but in the latter part, you will likely lose more money when you attempt to resell them. Do you think it's worth playing the cards for that trading game when you know you can risk more than what you get from it? Some people would argue that buying those will get you on the wait list faster and you can eventually get that watch. But in reality, it's even now more difficult than ever to get the right Rolex at MSRP. It's unlike in the past when it was really easy to walk in directly to the boutique and get on the list and buy every watch you can. And you knew that you will be able to get the watch you wanted and it will not hurt your pocket to buy a couple of watches. But now, it's not feasible and things have changed drastically. Now, you have to lose or risk more before you achieve and win. And if you win, the winning margin is no longer the same as it was. It will be more difficult than ever to obtain the timepieces you desire to pursue unless you are an expert or the end user who will wear the watch, and you are pursuing the precise watch you are after right now. There's a big reason why we witness a big organization like Rolex cannot produce a large supply of watches. And we also have to consider how manufacturing has been affected when the pandemic took place. Many manufacturers have stopped operations for a few months, and that time gap turns out to be a factor. Set China for example, because of its zero-COVID policy, they have closed its doors, letting its citizens stay within the country and transact within it. We are all aware that China is one of the biggest purchasers of luxury goods globally. Therefore, their absence from the market poses a risk to all brands, and even every luxury available on the global market. Now that China is starting to open its market and economy, we are now witnessing a slow resume on the demand, and this means that it will eventually increase. Even though not all Chinese will buy Rolex watches, the fact that China is empowering its market means that the situation in commerce will become alive again. This sets an expectation that things will change in the landscape of the watch market. What we should be prepared for is how we will manage the strategy in getting the watches into the market. As we are now aware of the watches that are sold as popular and not common, there will be changes in the priorities on the wait lists. But because people have already raised awareness, there will be fewer people in line waiting since people will realize that they won't be able to make the sums of money they were earning that was lucrative as before. They will figure out that there's no need to put up on the waiting lists because some people are becoming tighter with their wallets, and people will realize again that people who are on the waiting lists are there to make money. Soon, they will realize that there isn't much money to make from watches anymore, so this will make them decide if they want to continue the watch venture or not. While the watch market has gone mainstream, the truth is that few buyers of timepieces in this market did so to wear them, or they were purchasing them to enjoy them and resell them as the market becomes less active. You will experience a lot of differences once more are the cause of this. It's crucial that as you enter the watch market, you have to learn everything, including the watch industry. What are your thoughts about the topic we discussed in this video? We would like to see your answers and opinions in the comment section. If you liked this video, we will be glad if you let us know that too. Don't forget to follow us and give us a thumbs up. Once again, this is The Luxury World, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next videos.